We are talking about how to set and keep those New Year's resolutions today. That's right, Greg. When those students walk up this sidewalk Monday morning to start the fall semester, everything through these doors is going to be brand new to them. It's an amazing display of latest technology and tools, the things that really could shape our future. Right. It's the same product, it's just being packaged differently in order to help you maintain your your goals. It is still very much a very active fire scene out here. I'm going to step aside and let Patrick show you what just happened. You can see the roof and the awning have collapsed. Firefighters are now fighting the fire from both the ladder. They've extended the ladder. They're fighting it from up there. They're also fighting it from the ground. Today has written best-selling books, helped thousands, and I do mean thousands of people begin to run, get better at running, get healthy, and reach their fitness goals, including me. And I'm so honored to have 1972 U.S. Olympian Jeff Galloway here. And according to the people who have purchased these cups, Team Jacob wins tonight. And good news for the Team Jacob fans, I have it on good authority that at least one scene tonight, he takes off his shirt. So that's for all the Team Jacob fans. We're live in Beaumont. Mary Sturgill, 12 News HD. Sometimes even 10 hours each day in front of a computer screen, tablet, or our smartphone. They found a clear relationship between kids who were bullied and their consideration of suicide. Now, they also found cyberbullying was more strongly linked to suicidal thoughts and actions. Director in the booth is telling me to eat a bug, but you know what? I don't think I can do it. Your granddaughter did the illustration, so it's all in the family. I love this because it's so creative. The kids can do whatever they want, and nothing's wrong, unless you cut it off like I just did.
Oh, no, and you weren't even wrong there, Mary.
Okay, good.
Pour yourself some cereal.
Well, I would fill this whole thing up.
Whoa,
like this.
whoa,
like I would do, like seriously, I would do that. And that's probably 2 cups if I had to guess now.
Let's do a quick
12 News HD anchor Mary Sturgill caught up with one 4-year-old from Groves who no longer sits on the sidelines.
Aaron Cater has been a sports fan since he was only 2 years old. But being born with a disability, his grandpa first thought he would always have to watch from the sidelines.
He was born with spina bifida. He's paralyzed from the waist down. And so far, that don't slow him down a whole lot.
When his grandpa found adaptive sports for kids, all right, Aaron took to the field of his dreams.
He's played baseball and soccer, and then we'll be playing basketball next. He's been interested in sports since he was 2. That's all he wants to do, and we thought we were going to be going to Houston all the time, and then we ran across this a few months back, and we're thankful to find it.
Aaron first played from his wheelchair, but then he figured out a better way to score.
The other kids can play one way, but he figures out his way to do it and just does whatever it takes to play.
How many goals have you made this year?
3 of them.
3 of them?
I made that one over there.
Yeah.
I made that one over there.
Yeah, you did make that one.
That's a special kid. Special kid.
To watch him out there and to see the smile on his face when he knocks that ball in the goal, I mean, that's what it's about.
With this little guy's big personality and even bigger heart and determination, he's an inspiration to all who get the opportunity to watch him play. And that's a winning combination. You are so cool. In Nederland, Mary Sturgill, 12 News HD. Part of the magic of Stable Spirit lies with the horses, all of which have been rescued or adopted, nurtured back to health, and taught that people actually can be trusted. CD is one of those horses.
CD is an amazing horse.
This 27-year-old quarter horse was on loan to Stable Spirit when he had an accident.
Something got poked in his eye. We're thinking it might have been a piece of straw, hay, or something like that. It could have been a branch. We don't know.
The vet and volunteers at Stable Spirit treated the wound, but it did not get better.
And so by January, he realized that he needed to take the eye because it was actually deteriorating.
But CD's spirit did not deteriorate, even though he had to make adjustments to his new situation.
Horses do see different objects with either eye, so he really had to adjust to learn that he could not see on that left side.
In the spring, we were here shooting video for another story, and one of the children that CD normally works with was in the arena working with another horse while he was healing. He was standing about where he is right now. Well, he kicked this panel off, as you can see in the background of this video.
As we see it, saying, I want to work, I'm ready to go back. And that very next week, we put him back to work and put the kids back on him, and he's in his element. He is just loving being back to work, doing his job, what he's supposed to be.
And he bonds with all of his clients.
Give him a hug.
Like 5-year-old Brianna Lofton, who has epilepsy. She's been coming to Stable Spirit for 2 months, and her mother can already see improvement.
Go, please.
Anything little stressful can make her have seizures. And when we started coming out here, they have dropped off almost to maybe once every 3 weeks instead of 3 or 4 times a week, she was having seizures.
The bonds between the children and CD are undeniable.
Immediately that child starts bonding and being caring and just so much more nurturing because it's like they understand that horse understands what they've been through.
And CD shows the children something else, too.
You can still be useful and you can still have a lot of purpose no matter what.
Mary Sturgill, 12 News HD.
And baby Faith is suspected of being one of the more than 1,200 children in Jefferson County who are victims of abuse every year. 90 trained special advocates with court-appointed special advocates are here to help those children through the court system and to be the voice the children often don't have.
Some of those stories don't have happy endings, but we found one that does. Here's 12 News anchor Mary Sturgill with Asher's story.
About 3 years ago, there was a very real possibility that Asher Badgett would not be able to run and play like he does today. That if he hadn't been taken out of the abusive situation he was in, he could have ended up with severe brain injury like baby Faith Mason, or even lost his life. But luckily, that is not the case. Jamie Hogue is a CASA volunteer and received Asher's case back in December of 2010.
5 o'clock in the morning, our phone rang, and it was the DA's office calling to say that they just received one of the worst child abuse cases they'd ever seen. There was an 8-week-old boy with 29 broken bones.
That phone call rang the change that would take place in Asher's life.
Okay, I know.
But he had a lot of healing to do first.
He arrived in the ER. The nurses and doctors actually called him the broken baby, because how can you have 29 broken bones and have that not be significant?
At only 8 weeks old, that averages out to 3 broken bones a week in his short life.
He had 23 broken ribs, he had 3 spinal compression fractures, he had a crack in one of his arms, and he had 2 breaks in his left femur. The most significant being the fracture that broke his femur completely in half.
The 4 days Asher spent in the hospital were just the beginning of the healing process.
Because he didn't sustain any life-threatening injuries, he was able to leave after a few days, but he had multiple physician follow-up visits in Houston. He had a body splint because of his broken femur. His bones were broken, but his brain was okay, and that's the big difference between Asher and Faith.
During the investigation into Asher's abuse, he was placed in foster care.
It was one of the hardest things because I was blocked out for 5 months of even seeing him because I had been around him, so, naturally I was, suspected like anybody else.
Hogue says justice was served in Asher's case, and with the support of the adults now surrounding him, including his grandfather, this resilient little boy bounced back.
Jamie Hogue and CASA have been a big part of his life, and he had a wonderful foster mother during those 5 months.
He had CPS workers fighting for him, and in the end, his grandfather and I were able to agree.
That agreement was on what was best for Asher, and that was for Gene Badgett to adopt his grandson.
It was a long, hard situation to go through, but I'm glad I did it. And a lot of paperwork involved, a lot of jumping through hoops.
I've been with CASA 10 years, and Gene is the first blood relative of any of my CASA kids that I've ever felt good about, and it's a perfect ending to what started out as a tragic story.
And to meet Asher today, well, if you didn't know his story, you would never guess how much he's overcome.
Yep. You don't really have to teach him. You guide him and then kind of get out of the way. That's the kind of child that he is.
He is very lucky. Asher Rain Badgett is healthy and active and smart. Oh, he's so smart. And he's perfect.
Yay! He's got a sense of humor. He's always clowning.
He is a perfect happy ending.
In Beaumont, Mary Sturgill, 12 News HD.
Boy, he bounces back up and keeps on going, doesn't he? Hogue tells us that Asher's abuser is in prison for the crime, and little Asher will soon turn 3 years old.
To help other children like Asher have a happy ending, consider becoming a CASA volunteer. There's information on how to do that on our website, 12newsnow.com.